All right, guys, this is going to be the first edition to Real But Not So Real podcast, where we go over favorite movies, franchises, stuff like that, and give our real but not so real thoughts,
outlooks, perspectives.
perspectives, outlooks, hot takes, even.
I've got some hot takes.
Yeah, I bet you do. You'll hot take yourself.
Okay.
All right. I am your host, Jarrett Grisham, and this show is about the four brothers. I know you only see three here, but four brothers who are spending time together by doing what they love, and that's watching and talking about movies. What do we got over there?
It sounds like the fourth brother is dead, but he's very much alive. This is
alive.
not for his memory.
No.
We're doing it alongside it.
It's true.
He's just not here.
He's just no longer with us today.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, the rip.
What's your name there, bud?
Judd the Bag Clint.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. This is Judah, also known as Judd.
AKA Jug the Bag. Did I say Jug? AKA.
They did call me Judd back in college.
All right. And I'm Jake.
Yep.
I'm just Jake.
Just Jake.
No nicknames yet.
All right.
That's not
And
right.
today is our first episode, and there's no better movie to choose than what movie?
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty, 2013, remastered. It is a beautiful movie. And
It is
so
a
excited
stunning
to talk-
movie.
It is.
I'm so excited to talk about this movie.
I am too.
There are so many things in this movie. It came out in 2013, so I was not 2013. I was 13.
Yep.
And there are so many things about this movie that I realized when watching it that not shaped me into the man I am today, but I'm like, oh, okay, that's where I got this desire from. Like, yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so made in 2013, premiered on October 5th. What do you think the budget for this movie was? Just if you had to throw out a wild guess. 2013. That's 11 years ago.
This wasn't like a huge movie, right? This
No.
wasn't like a huge release.
Yeah.
I would say the budget was somewhere around, I don't even know budgets, like 60 million.
60 million.
70 million.
70 million, final answer.
No, I'm
Locking it
go
in.
way lower. It was real low. It was probably 15.
So it was
15? Did you say 15
50?
or 50?
15.
Oh, okay.
15 million.
Budget was $90 million.
Ooh.
And box office
I see
numbers.
a movie that only had $1 million.
Probably the movie you starred in. Box office of $180 million, which means it almost doubled its profit. So, really, like a shocking movie. 90 million is really low for a movie of this many actors, and just like the pictures and everything.
Well, was Ben Stiller, was he big time at this
Yeah. He was big time. Big time because he had just done Meet the Parents, right?
Probably.
And
Night
then
at the Museum.
Night at the Museum was Zoolander around that time.
Zoolander 1 was out. Zoolander 2, I believe, came out in 2017.
Yeah, he was
I don't
big
know.
time.
It came out.
Okay. Is that a fact? You want to look it up?
Oh, it's a fact.
Okay, so speaking of Ben Stiller, he was the director of this, which is actually really cool. Not only lead actor, but director himself. Loosely based on the famous author James Thurber's first short story. Plot's a little bit different than what the short story was, but still did a really good time with a runtime of an hour and 54 minutes. Didn't feel like an hour and 54 minutes.
Well, I was gonna say it was kind of long. Like there was a point in the movie where I was like, "Dang, we're far into this."
Yeah.
And then like the second adventure kicked up, and then I was back in.
You were back in, and we're going to talk about this later. But
We had
it
zero internet.
Okay.
That is
Can't
true.
even make a search.
Well, that's tough.
Right on.
We're going to get into it later, but it felt like you were watching almost two different movies simultaneously. It felt like one in New York and one in Iceland and Greenland. I don't know, but we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Supporting actors included.
I don't know if it felt so much as two different movies as just some people in some different locations in the same. That's what it felt like.
Yeah,
Hey,
I think that's what it was.
that is wild. Wow, thank you for that hot take there, bag.
Bag?
So some big names in this. Well, really just a couple big names, but Kristen Wiig as Cheryl Melhoff.
Completely forgot she was in this.
Completely forgot, and I only ever picture her as an SNL character, and so it was really hard for me to take her serious a lot of time in this movie.
She was great.
She killed it.
I will say the eHarmony, it is not the same as you get on there and it's just like you can't even swipe on people. You just have to tap on them, and then if you try to send them a message, it takes you to a different website. It's crap. It's not the same.
Okay. Did you ever try to send a wink? Is that still a thing?
Nope. You just send a wave, but it doesn't work.
Winking is a little bit.
That's a little bit suggestive.
A wave is nice.
Yeah,
it's respectful.
Sure.
A wink is like.
No, but what I'm saying is eHarmony not even really a thing.
Mm.
Yeah. And then Adam Scott as kind of the main like villain or person we hate. I also thought he did a good job. It was kind of like a corny role, but he did a good job.
Well, I thought he was so good.
Yeah.
The role that he played, I thought he was so good.
I really hated him by really the first scene.
I did too. Like literally.
Yeah.
Earth
to Major Tom. Okay. And then Katherine Hahn as Walter's sister, who was not big in 2013, but the past like 5 years she's been in everything.
She's blown up. Completely forgot about even her character.
She nailed the role, but and when I think of Walter Mitty, I think of everything but his sister.
Yeah, they didn't give her a whole lot, but
no, she did fine.
Good.
It didn't win any major awards, no Oscars, but it was nominated by the Saturn Awards for Best Director. And then, anybody know?
Really? No Best Picture or?
No, I was
not
surprised.
Even
they had 11 nominations, but none won.
Oh,
so wow. I was very surprised because I was like, okay, what Oscars did we win?
Yeah,
and talk about those, but no.
Because even the soundtrack was good. There wasn't much. I mean, we can talk about that later, but there wasn't much like in the first half of the movie. But once he's like out doing his thing, the music was. Dude,
it took insane. Over this movie. Like it gives me chills.
Yeah.
Anybody know what movie won Best Film in 2013?
It's probably The Hobbit.
It was not The Hobbit.
I can't even place myself in 2013. So my bearing for this kind of stuff is Avengers came out in 2012.
Yeah. No. 2012.
Oh, was it Captain America: Winter Soldier?
No, that was later.
That was 2014.
It's I don't know if y'all have seen it. It's called Gravity. Y'all have seen it?
No, I've never seen
it. Movie. I don't know who's in it.
Space movie.
But we might have to do.
Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Let's watch it.
What else came out?
So
do you have any other movies in 2013?
Yeah, you want to try to guess? I'll give you one reference. I'll give you one reference.
Give me a reference.
Well, I know Thor came out.
Which one?
It would have been the second one. Dark
yeah, Thor: Dark World came out in 2013.
Wow, that's right.
Man of Steel came out in 2013.
Oh my word, that movie was horrible.
No, I think
Grown Ups 2.
The first one was okay. It was the other ones that were terrible.
Second one was so bad. Yeah. So bad. Grown Ups 2, that's another good one.
Great movie.
Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug.
The second Hobbit.
The second Hobbit came out in 2012 or 2013. And then these two like kind of shook me. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. Hunger Games: Catching Fire.
Holy.
I felt like that came out 2 years ago. And
I would have thought.
You're right. Okay, and this one, Percy Jackson: Sea of Monsters, came out in 2013. That's the first one that came out in like 2010.
That is not a bad movie.
It's a missed opportunity.
It was a missed opportunity.
What a missed opportunity. Man, there's so much potential.
Too. I mean, Alexandra Daddario on that movie. She is a good-looking girl.
Alexandra. Just had to catch
I said Alexandra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're entering the spoiler section of the podcast.
But this movie is 11 years old. So
it is. If you know about this movie, you might as well have seen it.
Yeah.
You know, nobody just talks about this movie anymore.
That is true.
Nobody's like that anymore. Nobody talks like that anymore. Okay. Any fun facts you guys got from this movie? Any Easter eggs you find? Because I got a whole bunch of them.
Ben Stiller plays the main
character. That is
funny.
Yeah, good job.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I didn't really catch any Easter eggs. I kind of felt like this was a promotional movie for Life magazine.
Yeah.
So like there was a ton of Life stuff throughout, which
Yeah.
I'm sure was on purpose.
Yeah.
But, no, I didn't really catch any Easter eggs.
I didn't find any.
What do you got?
I didn't find like any just from the movie, just because I don't know if there was anything to really look for.
Yeah.
But some fun like facts about it was of Monsters and Men, that band, Dirty Paws. They're from Iceland. Had no idea.
Really?
Yeah. No clue at all.
Gosh. When that song kicks in, I just want to go.
Longboard down a mountain.
I just want to longboard down a mountain.
I just want to do that.
Yep. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and then the drunken helicopter pilot, we all remember him, the guy with the he says there are like 8 people in Greenland.
Yeah.
And then when Walter goes to Greenland, they only show like 8 different people in the shot. Like, I thought it was so cool.
What?
Yeah. But I
guess that's true.
I looked up the population of the what was that place called?
Oh, don't even give me. I could not do town.
Somewhere in Greenland. I don't know.
I'll tell you what. When COVID was going on.
That was the mountain. Rbnsr is where this boat came from, but I don't remember.
When COVID was happening.
Yeah. Talk to us about COVID.
Greenland never experienced it, and that is a fact.
There's no reported cases in Greenland?
New Greenland. UK. New Greenland. Population is like 400.
Wait,
it's nice though.
Yeah. And then, as of 2014, Papa John's. Okay, we all know the Papa John's in Iceland. There's not even a restaurant, Papa John's, and there's not a Papa John's in Iceland.
Yeah, I doubted that there was.
Yeah, it's a bakery in West Iceland town of Borgarnes. Was converted into a Papa John's just for this movie.
Okay.
So
that
I wonder.
Makes sense.
I bet they paid $100,000 maybe just to renovate that bakery.
Yeah, you think so?
I don't know. Maybe they can green screen. I don't know. And then, the famous scene of Kristen Wiig karaokeing in the bar. She can't actually play guitar. We were all fooled. She can sing, though.
She can sing.
Wasn't playing it very good.
I was not fooled.
Yeah, that's
guitar playing. Yeah.
She's holding it like she holds something.
And then
also, that guitar was a 12-string guitar. I don't know if anybody else caught that.
12-string is crazy.
To the regular 6-string guitar. That was a 12-string guitar, which is the one that who sings that song?
What song?
Major Tom.
Space Oddity?
Yeah. Who sings that? David Bowie.
Yeah, Bowie.
Bowie?
And then, Jim Carrey, Owen Wilson, Mike Myers, Sacha Baron Cohen were all considered for this role instead of Ben Stiller. Can you imagine a Jim Carrey? Or an Owen, more like an Owen Wilson?
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
I cannot.
Been incredible.
Wow. No, that would have been great. That would have been amazing.
Owen Wilson.
I think
probably the greatest actor. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. I think I did see that this movie almost went into production in the early 2000s. And at that point, Jim Carrey was the
guy.
He was the guy.
A good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when it finally caught traction, Ben Stiller was the guy, because Ben Stiller, he was hot at that time.
Ben Stiller killed this movie. Like, these guys are great actors. I really can't see them in this role as well as Ben Stiller, because he's already kind of like an awkward looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
he
put like an awkward personality, and then the daydream syndrome or whatever it's called, maladaptive daydreaming. Like, that's crazy. Like, he killed it.
Yeah, he did. He's never really, because what was his character like this is the last thing, and then we can move on. What was his character like in the Meet the Parents? Was it kind of this?
Kind of similar. Like, he was like, he's married in, and then...
He wasn't married.
the boyfriend,
Yeah,
but he was
in
still
the
kind
first
of
one,
like
but
the
he's,
guy
like,
on the
kinda
outside.
timid and
Yeah.
But this one, he just took it to a whole new level. It was fun to watch.
It was. So yeah, let's just go right into our initial thoughts. What was your like first experience with this movie as like the first time you watched it, if you can remember? 11 years ago.
Go ahead, Judd.
Yeah, let's hear it.
11 years ago.
How old were you in 11 years ago?
11 years ago.
9. 8.
8. 11.
Sure.
Oh,
Okay.
hold on.
So what
everybody.
what were your experiences?
I don't remember the first time I watched this movie, or probably the second.
Okay.
You were young. You were young.
I know I watched it at some point, and I was like, "This is a good movie," and I love Sean. I think Sean is the best part of this movie.
Yeah. What is that actor's name? Do you know?
Sean Penn.
Well, I tried to look
Sean
it
Penn's
up.
his real name?
Sean Penn. I saw that he was in. What else was he in? Okay, talk for a second. I'll look up what else he's in.
You can't look up anything.
You can if you're on your. You like what I have a few critiques. Like I love this movie through and through. I think it's like a great inspirational movie. The character development of Walter Mitty and Stiller is like through the roof. I think the like costume director even like played a huge role in that. The makeup, but like he grew a beard like as he was changing, like gaining experience. He was growing a beard like that. Just little stuff like that like was super cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, he is just a different person at the end of this movie. I will say like some of the daydreaming scenes were like really hard for me to watch because I was just like, they could have taken these in such a better direction. But I get they're trying to be funny at the same time, so it's like it just didn't hit. The specifically the Benjamin Buttons, where he's
I have the same gripe.
That like gives me nightmares, and so it's just like it's really frustrating for me to like watch that.
You're scared of Benjamin Button?
I'm terrified, especially of that little man.
Yeah.
But Kristen Wiig did have a funny line on that.
Just nestle in here and die,
my little baby. Not because you're
a
baby,
hilarious,
but because you're a weird baby little man.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought all like the supporting roles, like up to Patton Oswalt, the eHarmony guy. I thought he killed it,
and we never even see him.
No, yeah. We do at the end.
Oh yeah.
But I thought they could have used him as like a super.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, they like there were so many things that he chimed in on, like the separate phone calls and the scene at the end. It's just like he could have been used as like such an annoying character, but he was kind of like, I took it as like he was one of the viewers, and he would like, he knew what Walter was like in the beginning, like he was a no life, and then at the end he like caught up with Walter and like all that he did, and it was just like
that's good. That's a good.
Yeah. He even says he's like, "You are not at all what I pictured you, man."
Yeah.
It's like I thought you were some weirdo, but
he's a totally different guy at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
Walter is.
Yeah, it is such a cool.
That is cool.
Such a cool thing.
Right.
What are your
Judy, do you have any initial thoughts?
I said what did I say? I said something.
You said it was a good movie.
Yeah.
What were your like initial feedback?
Yeah.
Critiques even.
Initial like, thoughts while watching the movie. This is just stuff I jotted down.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Within the first 5 minutes of this movie, we know exactly who this guy is.
Yeah.
Like that whole bit with him on eHarmony, like the way that Stiller just acts this out, we know exactly who this guy is. And I felt like his first interactions with all the supporting cast was just like, it was so painful.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
And it was just like, even during the daydreams, and we'll get into this kind of when we do the plot, but yeah, there were some funny moments, like when he's talking to Kristen Wiig's character, and she gets on the elevator and the door's closing, and she's like, "Oh, are you coming down or going up?" And he's like, "Yes, I'm not." Yes, but I have to go.
I feel like that's just been the story of my life since like middle school.
It's so relatable. Yeah, it's so relatable. There were some pretty funny moments.
Yeah.
And in the first, couple minutes, they established the zone outs and like what all that entails. Because the first one, when you first watch it, you're like, oh, this movie is not. Because at the train or whatever, when he jumps off the thing, I was like, wow, this movie took a turn.
Yeah.
And then he snaps out of it, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what this movie is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You learn really quick.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I did notice that, like, subtly, whenever he goes into the zone outs, the color, the contrasting changes in the shot. And so it's just a little way to tell that, okay, this is not real. Yeah. But anyway, then I think one of the funniest parts from this movie was the nestle in here and die comment.
I just hated that so much.
I hated that whole scene, and then I was cringing the whole scene, and then she said that, and I was like, okay, that in a way like makes it okay. But
that's funny.
Yeah, a lot of nostalgia for this movie, but
yeah, seriously, it was so hard not to like just be biased about this movie.
Yeah,
because it was like,
Probably biased. You're right.
Yeah, that's true. But
yeah, I mean, that's kind of like our initial thoughts. I think what we're going to do now is go into the plot, just throw out scene by scene and pick out highlights, talk about them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's get her started. Let's get her started.
Let's go.
Let me get us started with a quote that I pulled from the movie.
I am so happy for this.
This gives me chills while I'm reading it.
Okay.
It is.
Do I need to close my eyes?
You can if you want. Okay. This is life's motto.
Oh.
To see the world, things dangerous to come to see behind walls, draw closer, to find each other and to feel. That is the purpose of life.
I like that.
Man.
To draw closer.
Okay, anyway.
All right.
Walter Mitty.
PLOT!
Walter Mitty is a negative assets manager at Life magazine who daydreams of adventures to get away out of the tedium of his boring job. Also, his job, I would really enjoy his job.
Yeah, you're in charge of like photos.
You are the guy when it comes to film.
Without Walter and Hernando, is that his name?
I think it's Hernando.
I don't know. But dude, the two of them.
He's the guy. They're the guys.
Imagine going to work and be like, "What's up, dude? Got the pictures of it? Yeah, I got them."
You have the most epic pictures that are going in the most epic magazine of all time.
Anyways.
Walter Mitty also has a crush on a coworker named Cheryl, but never has the nerve to tell her his feelings towards her.
Yeah.
Mitty, we establish Sean O'Connell as the photojournalist whose images are highly regarded. O'Connell has sent Mitty his latest negatives and a wallet as a gift and appreciation of Mitty's work. Also, during this time, we get the setup is Life magazine. This is going to be their last issue.
Yeah, they're going from magazine to online.
They're online.
So
O'Connell believes negative number 25 captures the quintessence of life. Quintessence, baby.
What does quintessence mean?
Quintessence. Here.
It means there was something that Adam Scott's character said. He said the same thing.
Yeah, he said the same thing. Quintessence, the most perfect or typical example of a quality or class. Perfect example, basically. The quintessence, the perfect example of life, and that it should be used for the cover of the magazine's final print issue as it converts to online status. So big deal. Big deal. Big freaking deal here. The negative is missing.
Dang it, Walter. It's all your fault.
However, Walter is forced to stall for time with corporate transition manager Ted Hendricks, who is handling the downsizing. While viewing the other negatives outside Life's offices, Cheryl approaches Mitty and suggests that he think of the negatives as clues to Sean's location. They look at 3 of them, including one of a person's thumb with a unique ring on it, and another of a curved piece of wood. A third picture of a boat leads Mitty to determine that O'Connell is in Greenland. Mitty promptly flies there to find him.
Yeah. So within all that, we get like all of these fun scenes, like the introduction of Walter to that Hendricks guy, Adam Scott's character, was just like so wild because we already understand there's tension with like Walter and like or not like tension with Walter and everybody, but like he's already like awkward. Like he's already the guy who is just like caring so much. You can tell he's like just like I don't know what to do.
There's
like,
just there's like no confidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
Also, we get do we get more than one zone out during this? We get the opening one on the train.
Yeah, so we get the opening one on the train, and then we get to meet, we almost immediately get to meet his sister, who brings him like the Clementine cake and the Stretch Armstrong, right?
Yes, because it's his birthday.
It's his birthday, yeah.
It's his 42nd birthday.
Yeah. And then we get to meet, what's her name?
Also, 42, and you're the negative assets manager at Life magazine. You've made it.
And he'd been there for 16 years.
Yeah, he'd been there for so long.
Yeah. So we meet his sister's role, and then we understand that she is trying out for a role for the show Grease.
Yeah.
Which is, what's the name of the girl's name? Tough and Tender?
Oh, no, I've never seen Grease.
Never will.
She tried out for the role. What's the name?
That's right.
Anyways, it'll come later, and I'll scream it.
Yeah.
And then we understand that his mom makes really good Clementine cake.
Yep.
He loves the Clementine cake.
That's a key. That'll come back.
Yeah, that'll come back. And then we go to Life magazine, where we meet Hendrix. And this is the scene I was talking about earlier. But Walter is like, so you can kind of tell he's like inferior to his coworkers, because whenever Hendrix introduces himself, Walter's like, "Oh, I'm just yeah." And then the guy's like, "Okay, Major Tom," and then that's like,
you have a really good Adam Scott.
No.
Yeah.
And then we see the Stretch Armstrong. Is this the Stretch Armstrong zone now?
No, that comes
later.
Yeah, we get the one where he is like kind of stalking. Kristen.
That's right.
And he breaks through the wall with he's got the beard and the snowy, and Kristen's like, I want to take an adventure in your hair.
Yeah, he looks like he should be shooting a commercial for like a Coors Light or something like that. Just something really like polar. It is weird.
Yep.
And then we get the scene where Hendrix is like trying to talk to Walter, and Walter's just like so zoned out.
Yeah, you immediately know. I mean, this guy is the bully.
Yeah, he's like every middle schooler's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
And fun fact, he actually played the bully in Boy Meets World back in 1997.
Adam Scott.
Yeah.
The show?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I may get flack for this, but I've never seen Boy Meets World.
I didn't either.
So I've seen it. I've never watched it. Like,
it's a good show.
Watched it.
No, that's cool.
But okay,
yeah,
we ready to move on? I'm gonna move on. So,
hey, you know what?
A third picture. Yeah.
Is this where we go to the park with Cheryl and Walter?
I think it is.
I think it is, because they're loading the picture of the boat.
They're finding the clues.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because her phone is buffering.
Yeah.
This is
2013.
Yeah. 2013. Her phone is buffering.
Yeah.
While they get this image, and so that's true, because we meet
Richie.
Yeah, we meet Richie. We figure out Kristen's situation with her ex-husband, and then we get the super funny scene of him like doing those insane kick flips on the skateboard.
He's like every middle schooler, dude. He's like looking over to see if the girl knows.
Yeah.
He's like, you see this?
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was so funny.
So I forget his name, but you know how he's like kind of out of focus while Kristen's talking on the phone. So all those tricks were done by a professional skateboarder.
Oh, that's cool.
But
tell me it wasn't Ben Stiller.
I know. I thought it was. I thought it was until I read that. But
that's
cool. That was a great scene.
Yeah, that was fun. And then they're like leaving the park, and then Cheryl starts talking to Walter, and that's when he zones out and goes into the baby. He turns into the baby man.
Yeah, that's when he turns into the baby man.
And that's just brutal, man.
It's not brutal. It's a hilarious scene.
It was. I will say, I thought my biggest gripe with the zone outs was I just thought they were too long.
They were way too long.
Yeah.
And it was just like weird.
There was a little bit of a dichotomy because it's established, especially with Adam Scott's character, like once he zones out, like in reality, he's just being like stared at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like made fun of. So the whole time during these zone outs, I'm not in the zone out. I'm like cringing because I know that
somebody's just there.
Somebody's just there, like poking him or something, making fun of him.
That's true.
I wouldn't make fun of him.
Yeah.
Sweet. We're in Greenland now.
We're in Greenland. After arriving in Greenland, really funny bit right off the rip in Greenland.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we mentioned the wallet earlier.
We did. We did mention.
We did mention the wallet that he receives from Sean O'Connell's.
Yeah.
And then the subtle him in the picture and he's just like calling him. That was really cool.
Yeah.
When he's in the picture.
Dude, the scene when he's like calling him and Walter's like, okay, I'm going to Greenland. Like, and then he gets up, gets his jacket, goes out, and it literally like does like the life's motto as he's running, like to like the airport, and then it shows this really cool montage of like different magazines that they've posted in the past, like on the wall. I thought that was so cool.
It was really cool. But then we see Ben Stiller's face in a couple of them in the astronaut.
Yeah, that was cool.
In the astronaut cover.
To me, this is when the movie like becomes a movie because it's like we said earlier, like the soundtrack starts to kick in, like, and that alone for me, if there's like good music in a movie, I'm into it. Like, you get me intrigued with Dirty Paws.
I mean,
I'm there.
Yeah, this is when the movie really takes off.
Yeah. But
we have we got our mission.
We do. We're going to find Sean O'Connell.
Yeah.
And we're going to get this negative
we're going to find
number 25, the negative.
Yeah.
We get it. This guy who's never done anything in his life is going to do this huge thing on a whim. Yeah,
because when Patton Oswalt calls him at like one of the opening scenes, he's like, we forgot to mention that his winky face to Cheryl wouldn't go through on the eHarmony page. In
that
the
was so
scene.
funny. Yeah, part of the opening bit.
And it was because his profile wasn't set up all the way. And so he calls Patton Oswalt. I forget his name. Todd from eHarmony.
Todd.
And he's like, Todd, my profile, I can't send a winky face to this girl or something. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, that's because you haven't filled out your profile.
Yeah.
And he was like, let's start with your have dones and haven't dones or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I've been to Phoenix and went to Memphis, but I just through the airport. And it was like this really just sad. This guy has been nowhere, done nothing.
Yeah. This guy's got kind of a sad life.
But now we're going to Greenland.
Now we're on our way to Greenland. And the I forget what, the montage, I guess, of him like, rushing to the airport and getting on the plane, and then on the plane, and then we arrive in Greenland.
This is so funny.
And one other dude gets off the plane with him. And it's always awkward. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but sometimes the guy you sit next to on the plane, you start talking, and then at the end of the flight, you have this weird obligation to like shake their hand or like, can I have your phone number? I don't know if you've ever done that. But
no.
Yeah. It's like, can we stay in touch? Yeah. But anyway, that was really funny. And then the whole bit with the rental car guy.
Yeah. You want the red one or the blue one?
Yeah.
That part, I knew that.
Yeah.
Because it goes up and then he tries to win.
Mm-hmm. And there's only 2. And they're both available because there's 8 people in Greenland. Sure. But, okay, after arriving in Greenland, capital city of Nuuk, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, that's probably a better way, but I don't know.
Mitty meets a local bartender.
Also, I'd like to mention this guy's probably stacking a lot of money if he's just able to afford to go to Greenland. Which makes
he doesn't only go to Greenland; he goes to like 4 different places.
He goes a lot of places, but also he is the manager of negative assets
for 16.
Life magazine.
He's got to be kind of rich.
Yeah.
Like we could.
We do see his apartment.
We do, and he's going over. Well, he's losing money right now because his dad died, or his mom's moving apartments, right?
Yeah.
And they had to sell a lot of things to get her into this apartment.
Yeah.
And so he's not like the best financially, and his sister doesn't work, he's supporting their family. Like,
Yeah.
that's a burden.
Yeah.
That's a burden.
After, this is another important note that I didn't write down, but I'm remembering now. Before he leaves for Greenland, we get that sequence with his family.
Yeah.
And that's where we establish, like, his dad's passed away.
Yeah.
He has or he didn't think that he has like a rough memory or whatever experience with Papa John's.
Oh, yeah.
But her
Papa
mom
John's.
kind of establishes
Yeah.
that.
Your mom was like, no, that was traumatic.
Yeah. It was like, no, you actually have this connection to
Yeah.
Papa John's because it makes you think of your dad.
Yeah.
And
then like the piano debacle, like they're trying to get the piano in through the window to her apartment, like super small apartment. So
yeah,
it was just a whole thing.
Yeah, weird.
But we do get to see like his travel journal that his dad got him that he never got to use to backpack Europe.
Yep.
We see the actual backpack, and then
he takes it with him, right? He takes those with him.
Not to Greenland. That's later when he goes to the Himalayas is when he brings his backpack journal, because we'll get to that. But yeah, you want the red one or the blue one?
Or the blue one.
I'll take the red one. Good choice. Great choice.
Yeah.
I would have taken the blue.
Then Walter Mitty meets with a local bartender at a bar, maybe the only bar in this town, probably.
Well, probably not, because this is Greenland. They drink a lot in Greenland.
Yeah, probably. And at this point, I don't know if we established this, but they looked up the name of the boat.
Yeah.
The Rbnsr. The
Rbnsr.
And so it doesn't dock, but it is around Greenland, this town of Nuuk. And then so he finally gets to the bar, asks the bartender what's going on, asks for help to find the Rbnsr. And the bartender tells him that the helicopter delivers mail to the various towns and outposts along the coast, including this ship. So we got away to this ship. He also finds out during this that Sean O'Connell... Does he find out that Sean O'Connell was here? No, that's with the pilot.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, yeah. Well, we know that Sean was on the boat, and we know that the boat... He's either on the boat or he's somewhere else.
Yeah.
We just know he was there.
He was there. He passed through this place.
And we get a funny...
Yeah. Yeah, we get the funny bit in the bar with the guy singing.
Yeah.
I was working at a waitress. Wait,
I was a waitress at a cocktail bar.
Yeah.
And then we get another. It's like, I'll take a small beer shoe.
Beer shoe. That's right.
That was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dude just starts.
Yeah.
Getting all up close to Walter. He's like,
yeah.
Hey, my heart's broken.
This is a good scene, and I don't know this. What is the language? Is it English in Greenland?
I think it's whatever you want it to be. I don't know.
I have no idea. It kind of seems like it after
English?
this.
Is that what you're asking?
Well, yeah.
No, they don't.
Well, okay. So there was it was weird because he said the population in Greenland's only like 8 people.
Yeah.
But we meet a Hispanic, we meet one African American, and then we meet like the rest are just like random guys.
Yeah.
Like there's only one girl and it's the bartender.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Makes sense.
Well, yeah.
So that's a weird thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get this funny scene with the drunk guy. I'm blanking on his name right now, but the drunk guy.
I don't think he ever got a name.
I don't know if he did, but we kind of get this back and forth where the pilot knows. No, it's the thumb, right? Walter Mitty spots his thumb during a fight, which I totally thought was a zone out.
I did too. I was
even
like,
rewatching it.
Yeah,
I was like, they're in a bar fight. This is a zone out, and then he spots the thumb ring, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this is for real. So after they fight, they sit down. The pilot has a beer. We find out he's the pilot.
We do.
Of the mail helicopter, and they go back and forth, and we find out that's where we find out that Sean had ridden with him to the Rbnsr.
Yeah.
And so we pick up here. Mitty recognizes the pilot's thumb with a unique ring and realizes he's on the right track. He at first declines to fly with the pilot,
which rightfully so. This dude's insane.
Yeah, after he finishes the beer, Stiller says something like, okay, I'm not going with you.
He's like, so you
Yeah.
coming or what? He's like, I'm actually not going with you.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But he has another zone out, or I don't know if this is a zone out or if he's just like imagining this.
I don't know.
Maybe I get a sense that he's like starting to, since he's gone on this adventure, he's starting to kind of drift away from the zone outs, and he's just like kind of imagining things at this point. But he imagines Cheryl singing Space Oddity and gains a new confidence and boards the helicopter.
Major Tom.
This was a great scene. I will point out that
right. This thing was gross.
What?
If it wasn't like if it was just like he zoned out
no,
Cheryl wasn't there, I'd much rather. I would have enjoyed it if Cheryl wasn't there.
It was kind of corny that Cheryl was there for sure, but him running to the helicopter and jumping.
He is. I get that it had to happen. I just didn't like it.
Yeah,
I just didn't like it.
It was pretty corny. Also, I would like to point out that when he jumps in the helicopter, he
chunks that thing.
He throws his briefcase first. Yeah. And then I'm like, so there's got to be some kind of like something to stop it on the other side. And then we see it from the other angle. I'm like, that went out the other side.
Yeah, there's no way that thing didn't just go 100 yards.
And then we don't find out, well, we see him later when he jumps off that he has it. And I'm like, okay, so yeah.
And what's in that briefcase? Does anybody know?
Documents, baby. Documents.
Stretch Armstrong too. He put that thing in there.
He's got that Armstrong.
He loses that, right?
No.
At some point.
It gets
Not the
wet.
Briefcase.
We'll get to this. We're almost there.
Yeah. Okay. Nearing the ship, Mitty learns the helicopter cannot land upon it. This was a great bit. Also, okay, I'll pick up in just a second. Misunderstanding the pilot, instead of jumping into a dinghy boat nearing to catch him, Mitty aims for the main vessel and misses and falls in the ocean. He splashes down into ice-cold, shark-infested waters, losing a box of ship-to-shore radio components before being brought aboard, which was the reason they were flying out there.
Yeah, and they were going to call the boat to see if Sean was on the boat. That way he didn't have to go on the boat, but they couldn't because they needed the radio parts, and that's what Walter was going to bring. Yeah, and then he chokes. He absolutely chokes. Why would you jump 10 stories high into a metal platform boat?
It's also crazy that, I mean, I don't know how this is supposed to work, but I feel like the helicopter could have gotten a bit lower.
Oh, yeah. And lower. For sure lower. Yeah. That thing looks high. Like, if you would have landed on that boat, there's no way, unless you did, like, some parkour, like, drop the boat.
I don't know. Or, there's got to be a better way to do that.
Yeah.
But, anyway, jumps in, immediately loses the radio components. Yeah. And so we're like, okay, he better be on this ship or we're not gonna see him at this point. Okay, Mitty is now on the ship. Mitty learns that O'Connell departed the ship earlier, like literally hours before.
He got attacked by a shark, dude.
Oh yeah, we didn't even
He got attacked by a full-on shark.
That was real.
And that was real. Yeah. He literally jumps in and then he's like, I think something in here. And then the operator's like, oh, no, it's just a fin. Or what did he say?
It's a porpoise.
It's a porpoise. You're totally fine. You got about 5 minutes before you freeze.
A school of porpoise.
Yeah. And then Walter's like, I don't think so.
Yeah. It's a shark.
Sure enough,
a little shark, but it is a shark. It is a shark.
And if Walter's in the water like this and a shark is only attacking from this, that's a dumb shark. Why don't you go... You know?
Yeah. I mean, if I was a shark, I'd go under.
Yeah,
I'd get him from the legs.
Yeah, he'd be like dangling his legs, and I'd be like, "No chance, dude."
Yeah.
I can smell your weird daydreaming legs from here.
That's true.
He gets on the little dinghy boat and is like touching the guy. He's like,
grabbing the reel.
Anyways,
great. The crew offers him some clementine cake.
That was wild.
O'Connell left behind. Watching it this time, that was the first time I picked up on the clementine cake.
Which would be because Sean O'Connell met with.
It's the same
clementine cake
later. His mom makes.
Yeah.
And she only makes clementine cake for special people.
Yeah. Mitty discovers O'Connell's destinations in the wrapping paper, which I thought was kind of cool, like some national treasure stuff.
National treasure, man.
O'Connell's destination was in the wrapping paper. The itinerary directs Mitty to Iceland, where O'Connell is photographing the volcano. Age of a lot of these words, I'm not even going to try to pronounce.
Yeah, no.
And he arrives at the local village of Skogar near the volcano using a longboard. We skipped so much.
And that's okay because we can dive into it.
Yeah.
The guy on the boat made this half of the movie for me. The guy, I forget his name, but he was the guy who gave Walter clothes and was like talking about his Instagrams.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
his like, I'll see you on Sesame Street, man.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Giving him all
so
the all the American isms.
Yeah, exactly. It was so funny. And yeah, shout out that guy. He was great.
Yeah, he was great. I recognized him as an actor.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of other stuff. And
But
then
I
I
don't know.
also thought there was a funny scene. Same guy. There's only one bike that goes into the town.
Yes.
And the guy was like, "You better hurry, man." And Walter's like, "No, the bike's right there.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of horny Chileans, and there's only one strip club and one bike."
Yeah. That was a great bit.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Stiller's fast.
Oh yeah,
Did
he
you see him
books
running?
those guys.
We'll
Yeah.
see him running in a little bit later.
Yeah,
Actually, right after this. But he gets
Literally.
the bike, and then this is
Oh.
this is the beginning of my favorite
Yeah.
stretch of
This was
scenes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we miss this. Kind of skips over a lot of it. So we
Yeah.
start. Is it of Monsters and Men this
yeah.
time?
I think is this Dirty Paws?
This might be Dirty Paws.
I think this is Dirty Paws.
This is the Dirty Paws scene
Yeah,
where he's. I mean, this is like a dream.
dude. Yes, are you kidding me? You're riding a bike through on a one-way street, interweaving through mountains and just like
Yeah.
grasslands and just the scenery. The shots from this were so cool.
They were insane.
Yeah.
And we don't point that out enough, but
Yeah.
the scenery shots in this are crazy. The ones that we get of in this scene, the ones on the boat,
Yeah,
and then the ones later.
yeah. But he's literally riding a bike through Iceland, just like in these.
Yeah.
And this is where like the costume change for me is like so big. Because if he was still wearing like that gray jacket he was always wearing, and like the
Mhm.
suit and tie, like I probably wouldn't have connected to this as much because I'm like, this dude needs to change clothes.
Yeah.
And they changed him into clothes, and not only is he in new clothes, he also has grown like facial hair, and he looks like rugged. He looks
Yeah.
like he belongs.
He looks weathered.
Yeah, weathered. He looks equipped.
Yeah. He's growing into his adventure.
Absolutely. He and his adventure, they're best friends.
Yeah. He's growing
But, yeah.
into his adventure. So after riding the bike for a little bit, harsh reality, he's looking off. He's on
Flock of
he
birds,
sees
man.
the birds making Cheryl's face, which I thought was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't particularly.
Have you guys
like
ever
that, but-
daydreamed somebody's face out of birds or something?
No, not in my right mind. But anyway, yeah, he sees the birds and then crashes the bike.
Yeah.
The fall was tough.
It looked
That was a
rough.
hard fall.
He landed on like a bunch of rocks. Too,
A
man.
bunch of rocks.
Cut up his head.
Cut up his head.
Yeah.
And then I didn't see that the bike was broken.
They should have just given us that satisfaction of, oh, the bike you can't actually ride anymore.
Yeah,
Because it was just like, he just threw the bike. He picked up the bike and he chunked it. That was it.
yeah. But I don't know if the bike was. I mean, it would make sense because he hit a sign that the bike was broken,
Yeah, that hard.
but we didn't see that. And so this time, rewatching it, when he just takes off running,
Yeah,
I'm like, what are we doing?
dude. It's going to take you years.
Not this guy, not Walter.
He's
This
quick.
guy is quick.
He's fast, dude. He's running the, what do you call it? What are the stats in the NFL? combine?
440.
He's running a 440.
This
Times
guy
100.
throws down the bike and
Yeah.
he just books it
Books it.
to.
The town on
This-
top of the mountain. We're on top
Well,
of
he
the
goes to
mountain.
the hotel, that little resort hotel thing.
Oh, yeah, where he meets the kids, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's sprinting, runs up on this family that's looks like they're on vacation or something because they're all
leaving,
packed.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're leaving
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
nobody knows it yet, but the volcano's about to erupt.
Yeah.
But anyway, runs up on this family, and I'll say it, completely takes advantage of.
Oh
this
my
kid.
gosh. This is robbery.
This is absolute robbery.
He said,
Not
walks up
only
to the-
would
yeah.
not only would I be so wary of this guy running up on.
out of breath, cut forehead, and
Yeah.
he's just like this rugged guy. Hey, nice board.
Yeah.
And then oh my gosh, these 3 kids, man, these poor kids. They
These
have no
poor
idea.
kids. This kid lost a great longboard.
He did. Oh my gosh, can you imagine having that longboard? It was
Yeah.
like a Thor, like Greek guy. Oh, it was so cool.
It was.
Anyways, he literally pulls out this half-naked man toy and is
Yep.
like, "Ooh, it's fun, stretch naked man boy." And they start like playing with. He sees the kid who's quiet over there doing his own thing, and he's like, "You, let's play this. Let's stretch this." And then they're stretching the arm, and it's just like, okay, this is. He's like, trade.
The kid got ripped off.
Kid gave him a $200 longboard, man.
Yeah,
it's insane. But then
we get arguably the greatest scene in the entire movie.
Cinematic scene. Whenever I think of anything inspirational, it's this scene right here.
Yeah, this is. We were talking about this earlier, but this is probably. I was a longboarder in high school.
Yeah.
Not super avid, but I had a longboard and I knew how to ride it. This was largely responsible for why I wanted to even try.
Yeah. I didn't even know what a longboard was before this movie.
Yeah. It was my favorite scene in the movie. I think a lot of people would agree.
Yeah. He literally he still has his other clothes in the suitcase, the infinite suitcase.
Yeah, we see him geared up.
Yeah. And he tears the tie in half and locks in these rocks to help him skid down this mountain.
Which I didn't know what he was doing with those.
I didn't either. My first watch, I was like, "Oh, okay, like he's just making gloves or something."
Yeah.
No, they're for sharp turns down the mountain.
Seriously.
And they stayed intact the whole time.
Intact. This scene was cool. The scenery, of course, he's in.
Yeah.
He's in. I think this was filmed in Iceland.
Yeah.
He's Iceland, country road.
Yeah.
I mean, just zooming down this mountain.
There's a scene where it was like almost like a 360. It was like a 180 shot, but where it starts behind him and it goes in front of him, and then you can just see the waterfall that's like behind him the whole time. It was so cool.
That's insane.
But
I don't know if you've seen it. There's a YouTube video. It kind of documents like the making of this movie. Not the making, because it's kind of like a short video, but it goes through all the shots and everything. But there's another guy on a longboard riding alongside Ben Stiller, and is like going. He goes from behind him, in front of him, and then back behind him. Cool. It's super cool.
Can't imagine being that guy. That's so fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
I wouldn't be able to do it, but
no.
Anyway.
But I do want to point out, this is like the first time we kind of see Walter connect with his roots, like in a deep way.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he was at his mom's house, unbagging everything, seeing like his backpack, travel bag, whatever, he sees this picture of him and his dad at like this skate championship. And he was like, he won it or whatever. So we know he's like a skater guy. Yeah. Obviously with Richie too, he's doing these cool tricks, like everything. And so you can this is like the first time you see Walter like really be himself and kind of smile too.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really cool because he's like, he's being free. He's like doing all these cool tricks. Yeah. Like, it's cool. So,
So we arrive in the town.
We arrive
in the town of Skogar, near the volcano.
Yeah.
And the way that he just pulls into this town, it's a ghost town. Nobody's there.
Nobody's there.
And then the guy from the hotel comes. I think we ran into him maybe on the bike or something.
Well,
maybe on the longboard.
Yeah. After we got the longboard, we stole it from those kids for that toy.
And then into the hotel and asked if Sean was there.
Yeah, for the location of the volcano.
Yeah, for the
location.
And
the guy is like telling him where it is, and then we get this funny scene of like, but don't, like, he's saying in his own language, but like, don't go there, it's dangerous.
Yeah, in his own language.
Walter's like, oh, this way, okay.
Yeah, and I do remember this now. The guy is clearly, it doesn't matter what language you speak, the guy is clearly trying to warn him of something. And Walter is like, it's okay, I know him.
Yeah, that was great.
And then takes off. And then he goes into town.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we get into this town and Ghost town. Nobody's there. And then the guy from the hotel
is just like
skirts in,
screaming at him.
And then I think it's as Mitty is about to get in the car, the volcano goes off, is erupting. And then we see Sean O'Connell. This was cool. We see him on top of a plane. Like the planes where they have the brace where you can stand on top and like strap in or whatever. Yeah. he's doing that.
It was so Daredevil.
Riding towards an erupting volcano.
Yeah, and you can see the smoke just like enclose him. And it was so cool. And then you hear Walter, he's like, there's Sean. Like, that's the guy I was going to trace.
So they get in the car, zoom away, and then this is where we get the Papa John's scene. Yeah. They arrive into this other little town, cars covered in
smoke, ash.
Soot.
Hate that word.
Volcanic soot.
Wow.
And we just kind of hang out here. He goes into Papa John's, who I kind of interpreted this scene as like he's eating inside Papa John's. Yeah. And then since his conversation with his mom, like he's thinking about his dad.
Yeah.
He's thinking about his dad here. And then he kind of delves into that when he calls Kristen on the phone.
Cheryl.
Kind of.
Cheryl.
Sorry, I need to stay in the movie. He calls Cheryl and basically gives her an update.
Yeah.
He's like, I was this close.
Yeah. And this was honestly, I kind of forget how impactful the scene was because like you can tell he doesn't ever talk about his dad.
Yeah.
Even from the beginning scene, it's like this guy doesn't really have anybody to talk to. He doesn't want to talk to. If he does, he just kind of, it wasn't like a big deal.
Yeah.
And so we see him literally tell Cheryl, like, yeah, I had to leave because of the cups. And she was like, So he was able to like tell her like, hey, like I worked there after my dad died. Like super, super impactful because this guy's a no life and he's experiencing all these things and he's able to like really be vulnerable. Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, dude.
Yeah,
we have found 2 of the 3 clues. It was the boat, the thumb, and the curved wooden shape, right?
Yeah, those were the 3 clues.
That's right.
But back to the Papa John scene, last thing, and then we can move on. But I feel like as he's going on this adventure, you can physically see him changing.
Yeah.
But I think he's also gaining confidence, and he's also like we've never seen him be like so open about his life. And so it's just kind of cool to see the progression of Ben Stiller's character.
Absolutely.
Of Mitty. But yeah, we get a text message from Hernando.
That's right. That's what it was, yeah.
And I couldn't really, because the way that the imagery on this is pretty cool because a lot of the text shows up kind of in the background. So like whenever he reads a text message, it shows up. They don't show the phone, but it shows up somewhere in the shot.
Yeah.
And it shows up on the mountain. I couldn't read it.
I couldn't either. It was there for like a split second.
Yeah. But it's kind of, from what I could read, Hendrix needs to see number 25, right now.
Yeah.
Or I think it says something about, or else they're fired or something like that.
Yeah.
But so he's got no shot to return to New York empty-handed.
Yep.
And this is where, when he gets back to New York, watching this, I'm like, okay, we had our adventure.
Yeah.
We're back in New York.
Yeah.
And this is where we're going to stay.
Yeah. And I like that he kind of kept the rugged look. Like
he
on
did.
on this trip back at least.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. But yeah, he gets back to his Life magazine and then you can just see them like tearing down everything. Like half of the staff is gone, or like more than half of the staff is gone, including Cheryl. Cheryl was fired.
Yeah, Cheryl was fired.
And it was crazy. You're like, okay, this is like serious.
I thought the Hernando and his fern.
Yeah. Hey, don't touch my fern.
Yeah.
that was funny.
That was a funny moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, so while he's back in front of the building, Hendrix happens to see him.
Yeah. Oh, I hate
and before it was established that the next time Hendrix sees Mitty, he's got to have the negative. Yeah. He's got to have negative number 25.
Right.
And Mitty doesn't have it, and he gets fired. Hendrix fires him on the spot. And then
put that on a plaque, hanging out your next job.
Yeah.
That's what Hendrix says.
Yep.
And it's just like.
But we see him stand up for himself.
Yeah,
this is the first time he stands up for himself. He calls him out and is like, hey, I've never mishandled or mislaid a negative in 16 years. This is the only time I've done it. And that's where he says that line. It
on
just
a
makes
plaque.
me hate him even more.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine somebody saying that to you after 16 years of hard work? Like, that's crazy.
And it's just a nobody. This guy is his only job is to lead the transition, and then he's done.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a part of the new company. He's not a part of the old company. He's just
the transition guy.
Freaking hilarious because that's his role in Parks and Rec too.
Oh, that is true.
That's funny.
Yeah.
He comes in and just handles the merger.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, and then we go to Walter leaves the Life magazine. He goes to Cheryl's apartment, and because he was going to give the board to Richie, the long board to Richie, the kid.
Yep.
And her ex-husband answers the door, and that was really sad for me.
Yeah.
Really sad. But we do see the little three-legged dog.
Mm-hmm.
Forget the name of that dog, but
I have no idea. But yeah, so we see that it seems like from our perspective and from Walter's, Cheryl's back with her ex-husband. Yeah. So Mitty leaves the board on the porch.
Yeah.
And then runs
Just
away.
Just takes off.
And here's where you can kind of see him kind of shrink back into his old self. It's pretty painful.
It is.
Mitty returns home discouraged and visits his mother, throwing away the wallet that he received from O'Connell. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna read this and then we can talk about it. To his surprise, Mitty recognizes the curve of the piano in his mother's house while looking at the last photograph. When asked, Mitty's mom mentions having met O'Connell. She had told Mitty before, but he was daydreaming and failed to hear her. Before we dive into this, I will say that the ways that he kind of finds, except for the first clue, but the thumb and this one, the way that he kind of finds them is a little bit like, I know this is like just a story or whatever, and he's got to find them somehow, but it felt a little too easy.
Oh yeah, dude. If I'm taking pictures of random things across the world, how are you going to find this? But
and
I get it.
The Greenland, they actually address that. The thumb, him and the drunk guy kind of address that. He's like, well, there's only so many thumbs when there's 8 people in Greenland or something. So that one was kind of justified a little bit. I still thought it was kind of too easy, but anyway, and then this one was just flat out.
I mean,
he's just looking at the picture and then pulls the picture down, and there's the clue. Yeah,
the piano kind of plays a big role in this movie too, because it's like his dad's last gift to his mom before his dad dies, and it's just been like a constant throughout this movie. Like in the first apartment, it wouldn't fit, so they had to move her to a different apartment. This one fit, but it took up her whole living room. Yeah, and so, this was like a weird thing for me, but this is what I kind of got to this moment with is like, all you gotta do is sit down, take it all in, relax, and then focus on one thing, and it makes kind of perspective a little bit easier. And this is when we see Walter, like, he just got fired. He can't find Sean. It's all technically his fault, whatever. Yeah. He goes to his mom's house. He sits on the couch. He just pulls out this picture and looks at it, and he puts it down, and then he sees, like, it just, I don't know, it's clear as day. Yeah. So it is like a cool perspective thing as like a watcher just seeing this. So, but yeah, dude. Yeah. I can't imagine. He was daydreaming. His mom talked to Sean, told Walter, and Walter was daydreaming. He didn't remember it. Yeah. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I don't know what like the daydreaming thing is, but odds are this has happened before too, where like he's missed information, and for it to be this like drastic, such key information that he missed, it's just heartbreaking. Yeah, because we see his face, like his mom says, "I told you at the grocery store in the produce aisle." Yeah, and we see Stiller's face, just like he's so defeated. Yeah, even though he just found this last clue, he's so defeated, and yeah, it was brutal.
It was brutal. And Walter had chucked the wallet. He threw it away.
Yeah, threw away the wallet. And I imagine he's pretty mad at Sean too.
Oh yeah,
at this point, but
he's mad at everything, I bet.
Yeah,
but so his mom has all the information we need.
Literally all the information. Yeah,
all of the information. So Walter's like asking her, like, okay, where's he going next? Something about warlocks. And then Walter's mom is like, no, warlords. And then they Google. And then like all the pieces falling together. He knows exactly where Sean's going.
Yep. He's in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
In the Himalayas. Lower Himalayas.
Yeah. And so that's where we go next.
That's where we go. Mitty discovers O'Connell is in the Himalayas and finds him photographing a rare snow leopard.
First, he hires these Himalayans to guide him up the mountain.
Yeah.
They get to a certain point.
Are they called Himalayans? I think they're called Afghan. Or I don't know.
They're people native to Afghanistan.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But dude, okay, this was like sorry to cut you off from the plot. This is another montage that is just like done so well.
They're
like,
great at montages.
Yes. And how he is like working, he brings his travel journal from his dad from the box early in the scene we see, and he's like writing in it, but it's only like few word quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And then
we see him writing in it as the scenes progress.
We see the two natives to Afghanistan and Walter start to climb up this mountain, and then the natives are like, okay, this is where we stop. And then it was the funny scene of like like they're like they can't speak English, so he's like pointing the language barrier. It was funny. But then we say like Walter turns around, goes up steeper, and the other guys leave, and we like see the journal that says I was all alone. And it was just like, this is crazy, this is wild. So that was cool.
So when asked about this kind of skips it, but we can go through this and then talk about it. So Mitty discovers O'Connell's in the Himalayas. All of that happens. All of that takes place. And then finds him photographing a rare snow leopard. John O'Connell, we get this. He's the greatest photographer of all time.
Cool guy.
Who knows how long he's been camped out in the spot waiting for the snow leopard. And Mitty finds him, which is arguably more impressive.
He stops at a rock, and Sean's just like on the other side of the rock. Like, hey, you mind? I'm working. I thought it was crazy, but hey, we had to do it. Man. We had to get there.
Yeah. And so their interaction is way different than you'd expect. Mitty is like, I don't know if Mitty can believe that he actually found him.
Yeah.
And so he just sits down, and they are talking, and he asks O'Connell about the negative, and O'Connell explains that the message on the gift wrapping to look inside was literal. The message on the wallet that he received. The message on the wallet was life's motto that I read at the beginning. But the message to look inside was literal. The negative was in the wallet.
The whole time?
The whole time. Mitty pulls out the wallet from his pocket. Yeah. Opens it up. Is that true?
No, he
threw it away.
Throwing it away.
Oh, he didn't grab it out of the trash?
No,
because he goes back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he goes back.
He threw it away while they were
to look inside.
Found the last clue. He threw it away just before he found the last clue.
Yeah. Because then he's in a big hurry to get back.
This was such. When you see Walter on this mountain talking to Sean, you're like, he did it. He did it. He found him. This is all we needed, but it's not all. We still needed the negative. Like that was his whole goal.
Yeah.
But
you kind of forget about the negative.
You kind of forget about the negatives because you're so caught up in the story. But we get this really like cool dialogue because Walter and Sean have never met. Because Sean just sends Walter the pictures. Like he's never met him. Yeah. So this is their first time meeting a person, and it was like, like you said, this is not how I thought it would be. Yeah. They just sit down. They're both out of breath. Which that's also another thing that was like plot hole. The elevation change, like, and then they go play soccer or something after. Anyway. But yeah, Sean sees like this. He says he's been looking at this ghost cat for like a couple hours, like just looking these ridges, and Walter like looks through the camera, sees it, and then they just like freeze. And then after patience, it's like Walter's like, "When are you gonna take the picture?" And then Sean's like, "Sometimes I don't." And I was just like, "Okay, this guy's so cool."
Yeah, this guy, he's so like, I don't know, he's so mysterious.
Yes, man. He's like, sometimes I just don't want any distractions. And I was like, okay, this guy's so cool. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. But
That's such a he's so baller.
he is baller, man. Just let the nature be nature.
Yeah.
Can you? Yeah. But yeah, that was incredible. Got the information we needed from old Sean.
Yeah. We got the information. So, unfortunately, Mitty had interpreted this message as a direction to look inside the tissue paper in the wait, hold on. Unfortunately, the negative was in the wallet. He threw away the wallet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Mitty had interpreted this message as a direction to look inside the tissue paper in the box containing the wallet. And it could also be interpreted as referring to the inscription stamped into the leather inside the wallet. So it's either he interpreted as look inside the box, not look inside the wallet.
Which honestly, if you
it's confusing.
Wallet, it's confusing. But if you've had that wallet and it's a cool wallet, dude, I'm looking in every crevice.
You get a new wallet, you're looking at every pouch.
Yeah. Seriously.
Am I right? Every single pouch. You want to know. You want to get to know your wallet really well.
Sure. I don't carry a wallet anymore. I'm kind of sad. I can't. I've lost 4 wallets. A total of $1,200.
Oh, wait, the wallets were worth $1,200?
No, I've had. So the last 2 times, it was a Monday, and I always take my cash from my job to go to the bank on Monday. And I went to a movie on Sunday night, and my wallet was prepped for Monday morning going to the bank. $400 in it one time, $300 in it another time, and then just like all these coupons and stuff like that. So it's just like I can't do a wallet.
I gotta
That's
get
heartbreaking.
my wallet. I gotta get Life's wallet.
We're all gonna do it.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That'd be awesome. I lost the wallet, 12 years old, in Missouri, Springfield, Missouri. There's $52 in it.
That's brutal. So
if anyone found that,
let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Be sure to let us know. Alrighty.
Okay.
You can set up a hotline and you just call that hotline.
I think so. I think that's what we should do.
All right. So, yeah.
We're on top of this mountain. We know that the negative's in the wallet. And then they keep talking. And when pressed to reveal the image on the negative, the last cover ever of Life magazine, O'Connell just dismisses the question.
Yeah.
And goes down and joins in a high altitude football game. Soccer.
They had a name for it, but I don't remember it. It was like kicking something. Yeah, you're at least 10,000 feet up.
Yeah.
There's no way you're playing soccer and running around.
Well,
that's crazy.
Guys are in big shape.
Walter has done nothing except for the last 2 days.
He's
been everywhere and
Walter was
anywhere.
a fit man, though.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know that, but now we do.
You can by looking at it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And
anyway,
then
this was a cool scene, though.
It was shot so
Scenery,
well. The colors in this were so cool. The sunset was going down, how he's going to get back home in the dark, we don't know, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Sean O'Connell has the coolest job.
Yeah.
Ever, probably.
Probably, yeah. It's true. Yeah. But yeah, they're playing that, and then that scene comes to a close, and then we're back. In New York, right?
We're back.
He is flying back to the United States. He gets basically arrested, not arrested, but stopped in LA.
Yeah.
And he has to call Todd.
Yeah.
To bail him out of the airport jail.
Because he's coming from Afghanistan.
Yeah. Right.
And
he looks the way that he looks.
Yeah. And he's got this weird flute thing. I thought the X-ray thing was like a hit or miss, and it hit for me. It was kind of funny because you see him punch the guy and then get tased. That was so funny.
Yeah.
And we learned earlier that Todd was in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So, which we didn't really touch on all the Todd sequences. Todd called him when he was on that bike ride in Iceland.
Uh-huh.
He was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he updates on your profile, and he was like, or that's when we learned Cheryl wasn't on it anymore. No, that was later.
Yeah.
But he's like, "What are your haves and have-nots?" And he's like, "Well, I fought a shark and I jumped into a helicopter," stuff like that. So it's
just
cool.
the crazy stuff that he had done.
Todd was our check-in guy. He was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then he calls him in the Himalayas on top of a mountain. That was the other time.
Yeah.
And then he was like,
Which, how does he get cell reception?
Yeah, that's another thing. We just had to have it,
Yeah.
But he was like, "Sorry, Todd, I can't talk right now. I'm on top of a mountain or something like that." And it was just like, okay, this guy's so cool right now. But then we get Todd in LA.
Todd in
Bails
LA.
him out of airport jail.
Yeah, bails him out. We see Patton Oswalt.
Oh, so great.
Arguably one of the most iconic voices.
Yeah, dude.
In film, because he does a lot of voice work. You don't see him a lot in films, but he does a lot of voice work.
Yeah.
He's a genius. He's so good in this movie.
Yeah, he did. He was like, I said this earlier, but he could have made this movie or broke this movie by being like super annoying. I thought he made it. Like every interaction we get with Todd is like, oh, this guy's like so funny.
Yeah,
like he's like your best friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he bails him out of jail. He's like, hey, let's go get a Cinnabon.
Let's go get a Cinnabon
at the airport cafe or whatever.
Yes. So I don't have any notes on this part. Ezra woke up at this point from his sleep. Yeah. So this is where you guys will kind of have to fill in. So this jumps from there. Anything else to add on the Cinnabon scene?
Just the funny dialogue between Todd is like, "You're no idea what you look like." He was like, "You're a combination of like the Strokes and something else." But it was
obscure.
Like, yeah, it was so funny. But yeah,
band
we
reference.
We love Todd. Bails him out of jail. Walter is now flying back from LA or he's been in LA. I don't know.
He's helping to sell his mother's piano now, back in New York.
This is a really sad scene.
Yeah. Mitty recounts his story but mentions he does not have the wallet anymore. His mother says she always keeps his knickknacks and gives him the wallet that she retrieved from the trash. Mother knows best.
Mama Goat.
His mother... Oh, no, sorry. Finding inside the wallet a small manila envelope. Manila.
What is a manila? What is that?
The
flavor?
manila envelopes are the ones that they're just like folders. They fold open. They don't have anything inside. It's just
manila
blank. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I do.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, they're the cream color.
Okay.
You open it, and then if you dump it, everything just falls out. Nothing's keeping it in it.
I wouldn't be good.
That's a manila folder for you.
I don't like manila folders then.
A lot of people would disagree with you.
I hate them.
I love a good manila folder.
Finding inside the wallet a small manila envelope the size of a single frame 35 millimeter negative. An emboldened Mitty delivers it to Life magazine. Jumps into that meeting.
Yeah, he breaks through the wall. And this is so cool to me.
Yeah, literally
walks in the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is really cool to me because once we see it, we still don't know what the picture is. Like Walter doesn't even look at it.
Yeah.
Like he's like, this is the quintessence of life.
Yeah.
I don't want it to distract me. Like
I'm thinking that it's a snow leopard.
That's what I'm thinking is.
Even though he didn't take the picture of the snow leopard, it's some sort of picture from on top of that.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be. Or the volcano.
Something so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we sell the piano. Really sad. I guess Walter's finances kind of went down a little bit because they got to sell some things. Can't really do that. I don't know.
What did they sell? The piano?
They sold the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they had to sell some things so they could afford to move their mom into this place.
Yeah.
And
that was a great scene, especially
scene,
whenever they like all group hug at the end, like in the piano place, and then the guy's like, "Here's the check," and Walter's like, "Yeah, it's cool." Yeah, but yeah, he has the thing, man, and he just walks into that room,
tells management that it was the photograph O'Connell wanted for the final issue, and berates Hendricks for disrespecting the staff that made the magazine so honored before walking away from the office. Beautiful. Humiliating him in front of his recently hired staff. This guy is a totally different dude than he was a week ago.
Yeah, seriously.
A completely different guy.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And he used the same term like, hey man, just don't don't be rude to people.
Mhm.
Like, that don't be rude. And what did he say? Or he was like, yeah, he asked Hendrix, he was like, do you even know the life slogan? And Hendrix was like, it's great. I'm loving it. Like, he's like, no, that's McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then he said something snarky, and Hendrix was like, whatever. And then Walter was like, I've been holding this card for about a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on a plaque, hanging out your next job, Mr. Hendrix. Oh, man, what a dirty dog.
It was so good. So Mitty, after that, he throws the negative down. He got it. He delivered it. After that, Mitty reunites with Cheryl, emboldens himself enough to tell her outright that he has been thinking about and inspired by her, and learns that Cheryl's ex-husband was only at her house to repair the refrigerator, and is now dead.
He's dead? No. Okay. No, I was like, bro, what? That's crazy.
Nope, that was if I was writing the movie.
Dude, Walter gets a smirk whenever he hears that she's not with us.
Oh, he turns it on.
You know, he's like a little dirty dog, you know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh.
So Mitty tells Cheryl. Mitty tells Cheryl of his adventures and admits that he still does not know what -25 shows. After that, I think right after this, they go on the walk, right?
They go on the walk.
Cheryl's like, let me show you.
No, they're like walking down the street downtown.
I've got it right here.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Mitty and Cheryl see the final issue of Life at a newsstand.
Yeah.
They're going on a walk, decompressing after Walter's long journey. They've both been fired at this point. Also, I don't know if Walter ever gets his job back after this, but I don't know.
It doesn't really
show that. But
anyway,
so Mitty and Cheryl see the final issue of Life at a newsstand.
And this is just the most beautiful.
This is the most beautiful moment, because on the cover is not at all what everyone thought.
No,
it's a picture of Walter.
Yep.
Outside of Life, and he's
walking down the street with his briefcase.
Well, no, he's looking at the.
That's not true.
Yeah.
No, that's the cover of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah. He is outside of Life at the water fountain where we've seen him previously, looking with his funny little glasses, looking at the images, the negatives. And it is the last cover is a tribute to the staff.
Yeah.
With Walter on the
To
cover.
the people who make it.
To the people who make it.
I mean, and this just like gave me chills. Like, it was like a sad chills. It was like, man, Walter is just like, he's so undervalued at his job.
He's the champion.
He is the guy that people look to.
Yeah.
You know?
He's the guy behind the scenes that makes everything go.
Yeah.
And, you know.
It was just beautiful. I don't think, it really was the quintessence of Life.
The quintessence.
It's always been Walter, guys. And then he's a little sly dog, and he's like, they see it, him and Cheryl, and they're like, let's just keep walking. And Cheryl's like, shouldn't we buy a few copies? He's like, yeah, I'm probably going to go back later.
He's trying to be all cool about it.
Yeah. And then reaches down as they're walking, and he just grabs Cheryl's hand.
Yeah.
Because they're going to see his sister perform in Greece.
Tough and Tender. I never found her name.
I don't know either.
Talk for a second. I'll think about it.
Well, this is the end. So the photograph from -25 showing Mitty sitting outside of the Life building, examining a contact sheet. Mitty and Cheryl continue their walk down the street, holding hands. And again, I will read Life's motto. To see the world, things dangerous to come to see behind walls, draw closer, to find each other and to feel. That is the purpose of life. A round of applause for this movie.
Man, I mean, just the sheer, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go climb a mountain. I'm gonna go longboard down a mountain. I'm gonna go jump. I'm gonna fight sharks. Like, the inspiration this had on me.
Yeah, as far as films that just tell a story.
Yeah, and
this is up there.
He just became a totally different guy in like the best way. He got the girl, you know.
He did. He got the girl.
But also he got himself too.
That's true. That's well put. So now we go into our closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts.
We'll
Before we
start
do,
with- Go ahead.
I have one more thing. There is a really funny joke when he is at the volcano and it's erupting and he's getting in the car and there's a language barrier and the guy's like trying to say eruption, but he says something else. It's
Eruption.
it's really, really funny.
Eruption.
Yeah.
Eruption.
I skipped over that.
That was that. I was going to put on that and then I didn't.
But let's go into what you got for us.
Final thoughts, fellas.
Lead us.
We'll start. I'm just going to go popcorn here. What would you rate this movie, Judah? 1 out of 10.
I'm going to go 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, that is a strong rating.
I mean, hey.
I think the only flaws are some of the corny cutscenes.
Like the zone outs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I agree with you.
Yeah. What would you rate this movie?
I would rate this movie. I love this movie. But I think I would go 7 out of 10.
Yeah. I think nostalgia based, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. But whenever I'm like looking at this movie, showing it to somebody new, I'm like, I don't know if you're gonna like this.
Yeah,
as much as I do. I put it as a 6 out of 10, just
That's
because
fair.
it was like there were a lot of weird scenes.
It's kind of got this movie. Kind of has a weird tone. If you
It
think about
does.
it, because it's an adventure movie,
Yeah.
but it's played comedically.
Yeah.
Now, I think that the comedic timing of like Patton Oswalt, Todd,
Yeah.
that's
great.
done really well.
Yeah.
I think the other comedic beats done like during his zone outs,
Yeah.
and then I think some of the stuff with Kristen's character Cheryl. Yeah, I think that kind of drags it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's still a great story. It's still a heck of an adventure.
It is.
And it's fun to follow along.
Yeah, I would agree. Would you change any of the actors or actresses in this movie? And
That's a great
who
question.
would you choose?
No, but I would love to see just what's it called, like a spoof of it?
A spoof?
With,
Like a new version of it?
yeah, but
Like a parody?
I just want to see what Owen Wilson would be like.
Yeah, I wish we could see like the auditions or
That
something
is
like
true.
that. I don't think they're anywhere because I looked, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would
I don't know.
probably change.
I don't know if Owen Wilson could have portrayed like the awkwardness.
I don't think so either.
Walter.
I think
I think they nailed it for the most part.
Yeah. I think I would have changed out Kristen Wiig for somebody. I don't know why, but I don't know. I don't know who. Like, of course, Jennifer Aniston's a good one. Like I feel like she would fit that role really well because she's kind of daydreamy, you know.
Yeah, she would.
I don't know.
I don't think Odessa, the sister.
Yeah,
I think we could have done without her in the movie.
she was.
I love
but
Catherine Hahn.
Yeah,
But
I would agree with that.
I don't know, her character just like it. She wasn't a motivating factor, really, right?
She wasn't. I mean, besides the idea of like that was him and Cheryl's date was to go see her lead role for Grease.
I mean, yeah, but she didn't really like drive the story forward.
No, she was kind of annoying. In those
Yeah,
parts.
I feel like her part could have been done by the mom. Like if the mom had gone to work, to his job in the beginning, and like given him his birthday gift and the cake, that would have been. But I don't know.
I mean, I thought Sean Doctor was great as well. So
yeah, Sean Penn,
great.
He did a great job.
He had 8 minutes.
Yeah,
Time, but it was great.
Yeah, with what he was given, that was good.
Do you have a least favorite part of this movie?
I think we can all agree. Do we all have the same least favorite part?
I've said mine from the beginning.
Yeah, it's the Benjamin
scene.
I
Button.
liked that scene. I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
It didn't.
I'm
hit for
between
me.
that one and the one in the elevator with.
It flows with the tone of the movie, though.
I mean, yeah, The comedic beats in that one are probably the best from Cheryl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
It's hard for me to
know.
promote.
Walter he's a weird guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
He
he's a
has
weird.
thoughts.
That is true. I mean, all those zone outs are like we're diving into his brain.
Yeah. It's just cringy nonetheless.
Yeah, it is.
Of course, it's supposed to be cringy.
I was
is.
cringing hard.
Yeah.
But I think
what's your least favorite part? Did you have one?
Probably I know this was wild, but probably when she sings them.
It was a
I can
powerful
agree with
time.
that.
I'll say it. But like, I just didn't like how we focused on her throughout the scene. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I can agree with that.
I think my favorite part was, I mean, he's longboarding down a freaking mountain.
Oh,
That's number one.
Yeah. Or the
bike
scene
ride.
where they're talking on a mountain, him and Sean. Like, that was cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah, probably the hiking scene.
Yeah. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, kind of last two questions, and then we'll close it out. But what did this movie like? What do you think it tried to show us, as far as like, what was the director's like purpose in this?
Oh, to show that. Well, the internet is a bunch of bull crap, basically. I think, but it was to show that the people, they're what matters.
The people.
The people.
You're talking about like the people at life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the motto of life was kind of a purpose.
Yeah. Dude, I'm going to get this motto tattooed
Yeah.
on my body somewhere.
To draw closer.
Yeah. To draw closer.
Careful where you put that.
Yeah. Do you want to go with it? You already said your favorite part?
Yeah, my favorite was they're hiking up the mountain, just that mountain scene. I'm talking to Sean, or longboarding down the mountain.
Yeah.
The
longboard scene. That's all time.
It's all time.
That's all time.
All time. I think this movie really like showed, for me, it was just like it was kind of basic, but you can be like a nobody, but like you can be fearful, but like don't let that hold you back from so much experience, because that's exactly what Walter was. And then he comes back a new man, and he daydreams less, and 2, he gets the girl, 3, he's the cover of Life magazine. Like everything will fall into place if you like let it, you know? So I think that was like a really cool, if you open yourself to experience, and yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I thought that was a cool little.
To me, I thought this movie's pretty cool, because I think what it communicated to me was your imagination wasn't meant to stay in your mind.
Yeah.
Your imagination's meant to inspire you to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
And Mitty having these zone outs, or whatever you want to call it, it's like it's always him imagining himself doing something cool or extraordinary or something like that, and then he finally gets it when he realizes that he can do things that are like even as cool as his imagination.
Cooler,
and to watch him to watch his character progress throughout this movie is something really cool.
Yeah, it definitely is inspiring. And then this is kind of a tougher question, as far as like on the top of your head. What would you compare this movie with, as far as like another movie? Like that's kind of tough.
I'm thinking, okay, so like adventure movies with a lovable character,
like super character based. Like for me, have you guys ever seen Peanut Butter Falcon?
No, I have not.
Shia LaBeouf and the kid with autism or Down syndrome. I don't remember. And
we all got autism.
That one was also like super character based, and in the beginning of the movie, it was like, we're just hoping and we're imagining for things, and then at the end of the movie, it's like we found it in a different way than we thought we would, but we found it. Yeah. So that was my comparison of Peanut Butter Falcon. Yeah. Like in the same category, but I don't know if y'all have one or not.
Man, that's a great. Do you have one? I'm trying to think.
Every other movie.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough question because there's so many movies out there. It's like there's none specifically like this, and so I think that's why this movie's so cool too. It's like
I think so too.
I don't think I've seen another movie do this to me.
Well, there's not a lot of films that have a character that's so instantly relatable.
Yeah,
and then you're just following this guy's adventure.
Yeah,
as he does it.
This is not necessarily adventure, but in terms of character development, I kind of think it's the same because they're kind of the same character in the beginning, but Dan in real life. You know, like they
Great movie.
at the beginning of the movie, they're both like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No adventure in Dan.
That's a good.
Yeah, they go to Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Where's family?
No, I don't. I mean,
yeah,
this movie's kind of one of a kind for me.
It's one of a kind, and that's why we chose this as like the first episode because we all know it pretty well,
right?
And we loved it, and we grew up watching it. But
I love it.
I think that's a wrap, fellas.
You got anything else for us?
I mean, maybe next week. I don't know what movie you guys want to do.
Yeah,
so.
We should do The Batman by Matt Reeves.
That would be such a long episode, though.
Yeah, but
that would take forever.
The greatest Batman movie there is.
That movie alone is like, isn't that like 2.5 hours long?
It's like 3:15.
3 hours.
Oh,
that'd be a long episode. But yeah, we're gonna do standalone movies, kind of starting out, and then once we kind of get our system going, we'll do
The Parents.
Stick with Ben Stiller.
Yeah, I don't know. I have like a list of like options that are good standalone movies, but whatever throws out there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, all right, guys. That is the first episode of the Real But Not So Real podcast.
I thought it should be named the Lore Lords, but it's all right.
The Warlords?
Lore Lords.
Lore. Like I'm gonna lure you into this.
No, like lore, like of a universe. You know what I mean? Like the lore, the stories, the past. I
had no idea that was a word.
Romanticization. That's a word.
Wow.
Don't look it up.
That is spectacular.
Don't look it up.
All right. Name is TBD, but
the Real But Not So Real podcast, baby.
That's the show, man. That's the show.
That's the show. That's the show.
All right, guys. Catch y'all on the flip.
On the flip, baby. On the flip, baby.